slaves and abolitionists as they blazed a trail towards freedom through the darkest of nights. Yes, we can. It was sung by immigrants as they struck out from distant shores and pioneers who pushed westward against an unforgiving wilderness. Yes, we can.
So here's one of the things that drives me crazy.
Right.
You want to come to this country, yet you don't want to learn the language, you don't want to learn English, you want to bring your flag from your country here, and you want to create communities to reproduce what you had back in your country that you wanted so bad to leave from, but yet you want all the benefits of what it is to be an American. So there comes a time when somebody's got to say, hey, stop. If you're going to come to this country, there's certain rules that we live by here. One of them is you have to be able to communicate. So you need to learn English, and still worldwide, that's one of the most commonly used languages that, up since last time I checked.
Okay, we are Mexica dancers. We're from the Mexica tradition, and we are representing our people, the Mexican people, the indigenous people of this land, and we are against this war because many of our children are fighting this war, and this is a war that has no benefit to nobody, and we feel that it's not fair that our people is dying for economical interest of very few, and in a land that they have nothing to do over there. So we want them back home now, and we want this war to be stopped now, because it's an injustice war. That's why we're here.
There are certain things we do as Americans.
It's our freaking language.
Absolutely. And we have our religion. We have, well, not religion. Let me back up on that one.
What is accurate about the textbooks? I just want to know for my own personal well-being, because I've got to decide. I've gone through an epiphany in the past week. Like, okay, I need to kind of rewrite the textbook, if you will, on all of this, because growing up, very little was taught about African Americans. You know, it was pretty much slavery, Lincoln, Martin Luther King, we're done. Mm-hmm. That was it. And Native Americans was, you know, a lot of manifest destiny and all this other stuff. I mean, some specific conflicts, or, I mean, they categorized them as wars.
Exactly, they were wars. And they were really viewed upon as the American Indians being the renegades and fighting against the Europeans that were coming here to overtake the country. And many times the American Indians were friends. They helped them survive, and they were really only trying to save themselves and the land that they were existing on. And that's really what happened. They were fighting against a group of people that had different sets of how to fight in wars. They had a complete misunderstanding of American Indians and the whole spiritual nature. So when you look at how they fought against American Indians, it wasn't just cannons and guns and horses that many of the Native people didn't have, but it was also with the understanding that they didn't have a spirituality, a soul as part of them, and they had to be conquered by the religious right, which was, you know, the Christian and the Catholic religions.
I would say that all the other candidates suck, and Barack Obama is the clear choice, and that they should vote for him.
Do you feel he's a people pleaser? And if so, do you feel that has weakened him as a president?
No, I don't think so. I really don't have anything bad to say about him. But then again, I don't know if I'm necessarily the best person to ask, because it's not like I follow politics hardcore, you know? So
I think he understands the people and he wants the best for the people, and I hope that he continues to be the president for quite a long time. It's definitely one of the best ones that have been since I've been alive.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Do you think like everybody is like supporting Obama, that he's a brilliant person and he can bring change to the world scenario? Do you think we should support him in any way? That he has just got selected as the American president.
I don't know. Not now since he's already selected, I don't think so. We can actually Indians can actually do something right about it right now.
What are some things that you'd like to see change?
Homelessness, and it can be done. It can be done if people would just open their eyes and let us have some of these vacant buildings that have been sitting here for years, empty and not being used. And we could turn those into actually running establishments with the people that are homeless right now.
How do you feel if Mitt Romney would win the election?
How would one feel?
Yeah, like what do you think would happen?
It would be the arrival of Jesus Christ. He would come.
Okay.
That would be the Antichrist.
The Antichrist.
He would be the Antichrist.
Is George Bush the Antichrist?
I don't know. You have to ask him.
Okay.
I don't know.
What I hope to see with the Obama administration is to see like a little bit more improvement in the whole immigration issue. I really don't want to see like more families being separated. I actually want to see like an improvement. I actually like want to see him helping the people a lot more. I want him to be able to give them like their papers and everything, so that way they're able to stay in this country legally.
Change doesn't happen overnight, and he said it in many speeches that some things it takes more than a year or 4 or 5 years. And I feel many of the different policies and things that he's put in place is going to take some time. So I feel that it'll definitely eventually get to that point, but it's going to take him staying in leadership to do that, I feel.
What do you think are some of the top 5 issues that we're facing as young people right now that you care about?
Well, I think they need to legalize marijuana. I think that's a big issue.
What are the benefits of legalizing marijuana in your mind?
Well, it cures a lot of ailments, insomnia, back pains, feeling a little bit sore, Medical marijuana is definitely going to help you out. I don't think it should be outlawed at all. I think that's absolutely ridiculous.
Well, my thoughts about gun control are this. Basically, I'm thinking that the guidelines that we already have in place are probably sufficient for this country. I'm fearful that if our government mandates too much gun control, the people will have no control at all, and only the government will have gun control.
My relatives came through Ellis Island back in the 1800s.
Right.
You talked about slavery.
Right.
You want to talk about slavery? Sure. Irish have been enslaved for centuries.
I get that.
Okay, my ancestors came over as indentured servants.
Under apartheid type rule in the first half of the 20th century either. I'm just saying. I get it, and I respect that, but at the same time, the opportunities and the strides that African Americans have made in the latter half of the 20th century have been amazing.
I don't deny that.
I'm a product of that. I mean, I'm at an age where when I grew up, I was like the black kid they sent to white schools because he tested high, and I would be put into situations where I would have to represent an entire culture of people. That my behavior was reflective of a bunch of other people that I barely even knew. From your vantage point, from your perspective, from your culture, and looking at that as an objective third party, like where's all that coming from? Like that type of aggression, if you will.
Well, I think it comes from a whole mentality of superiority, that the lighter the skin you are, the more superior you are. You have a different set of knowledge that you have to employ on this new group and then bring them over to your way of thinking. We hear from several traditional people that it's superior, certainly part of it, but there's a fear. They feel that there's a fear of understanding this new spirituality that they don't understand. They can't put it in any context, and it has no meaning for them. So the only way that Europeans can really deal with it is then just to conquer and bring everyone over to their way of thinking.
So we have a certain number of challenges in this country that are asked of all of us. Some of us pick up that flag and we stand with pride and we believe in it and we carry it, you know, and that's something that I have done. I've worked for myself my entire life, never worked for anybody in my life, owned my own business. I've never taken anything from anybody, never had a single day in my life where I was on welfare, neither my parents nor my grandparents or whatever. But I still live in a society where people assume that about me. But I still live in a society, if I get pulled over by the cops, they treat me like shit, even though I talk like this. And there's nothing I can do. So there still are dynamics within our culture that we still need to work on.
Agreed.
Getting back to racism, but
I'm not even saying
and
it.
I'm not
defining it as racism. I'm defining it as a certain amount of misinformation. People just aren't informed. They don't know. You seek the information.
Yes, all the time.
Exactly. We don't have enough people on all sides of the fence that will take a certain amount of time in their lives to figure out what the truth is. Not all black people are violent. Not all black people are bad. A lot of them make huge contributions to society and are decent people. And people you would want to live next door to you, and you would want your kids to play with their kids.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, most people are stagnant in other countries with the one particular type of culture, but we have a melting pot of it, and I think that's an advantage.
President Obama's significance in history, aside from being the first black president of the U.S., I think he's going to go down as one of the best presidents we've ever had. So maybe in 50 years we'll see him on some money.
That being said, I think that the emails really just demonstrated that what everybody should have known already, which is that it's all about money. It's all about, the individual stars or the individual stories of the people don't really matter. It's all about just what makes money. And a lot of it is racially motivated. A lot of it is very sexist, but ultimately it comes down to dehumanizing people who have talent and dehumanizing like the market and the consumer, you know?
The attitude today in America is, if I'm comfortable, I really don't have any thoughts about what it was before or what it's going to be in the future. I think America lives for the moment, and that's just the way it is right now. I see that and especially with my area, veterans. Everybody's patriotic, but it's only in certain times. Memorial Day, everybody's carrying, waving a flag. The rest of the time, you don't think about that.
We have our holidays that we celebrate. And because I wave my American flag and it offends you,
it's the thing of the moment. That's just the way America. That's how I see it. Is that we're in a moment. Once the moment's gone, then we back to what's good for us. For me, it's a me thing now. It's not a we thing.
It was sung by immigrants as they struck out for distant shores and pioneers who pushed westward against an unforgiving wilderness. Yes, we can. It was the call of workers who organized, women who reached for the ballot, a president who chose the moon as our new frontier, and a king who took us to the mountaintop and pointed the way to the promised land. Yes, we can to justice and equality.
I never dreamed that would ever happen. In fact, if somebody had told me it was going to happen, I wouldn't have believed it.